Hey there, Otaku. Ken Chan back with another episode of Go Omega Otaku Gamer Alpha. I just want to let you know this is the last show of Season 2. Hopefully we'll be making a nice seamless transition into Season 3 here. Now, today we're going to talk about a machine that is arguably the biggest selling machine of all time, if not the second biggest selling machine of all time. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's a machine by Sony. We have the upcoming Sony Playstation 4 coming out soon, also the Xbox One. But in celebration of the PS4 coming out, today we're going to take a look at the PS2 Slim. Sony Playstation 2. The Slim model. This little guy, right here. Now, you may find it interesting that about a month after they stopped production of the PlayStation 2, Sony, they unveiled the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 2 ran for 12 years. It was released on March 4th, 2000 in Japan. And it stopped production on January 4th, 2013. After 12 years. That's a long time. And it was in February that they unveiled the PlayStation 4. So that's a long run. And it's also still listed as being the biggest selling console of all time. Right now, that's debatable whether it's that or the DS from Nintendo that's the biggest selling console. The large one that they released with the vertical stand and all that, I used to have one of those, but of course, actually I had several of those, but those all die. That they have a door on the front that slides open, and the design really isn't that good. It looks cool. It has an Art Deco-y kind of look, and so does this one. One of the problems that they had was it's supposed to be able to stand up on its side. This one, you get a stand for it, and it'll do that. I never was interested in doing that. And the old one, if you stood it up on its side, gravity started to pull the disc reader away from the disc, and all it takes is a very slight bend to that, and the whole thing is screwed up. These are the 8 meg memory cards that they had for this thing. They sold 1.5 billion copies of 3,800 game titles for this system. This system is ridiculous, and it's great. It's how many games and just the mass market penetration that this machine had. This is the closest thing to real, serious home console mass market appeal that any machine ever had. It'd be interesting to see if anybody ever sells 150 million plus units of a home console ever again. The way things are going now, with tablets and smartphones cutting into the market, the console market shrinking from over 50% down to 37% of the overall market, PCs and tablets and phones. PC, of course, becoming the thing that's where the consoles used to be now, being the largest thing, and phones and tablets growing at an alarming rate. Far faster than anything else is growing. It's where all the growth is. And these things, this kind of thing, just shrinking away. Be interesting to see if anybody will ever sell anything like this again, numbers-wise. PlayStation 4. I, myself, personally, don't believe that anyone's ever going to do that again. And that's just me. I'm a doomsayer. But let's take a look at this console, bearing in mind that this is a slim model. This is not the only model of PS2 ever made. The older machine, as I said, I used to have one. I used to have several, actually. They had things on that old machine that this doesn't have, and I'll try to point out some of those things as we're looking at this. Okay, let's examine the front face of this, first of all. Yeah, this is... okay. So anyway, what we have here are memory card slots, 2 of them for the 8 meg memory cards. And some of those I think they might have made bigger just to hold more third-party cards and things like that. And those, again, are these, and they go like this. Okay, but let's go ahead and leave that out of there. This is the these are ports for the controllers. There's 2 of them, and then there's 2 USB ports right here. You have a little bit of cooling going on right here, and an infrared sensor of some sort for whatever that. I don't think, I don't know if they ever even used this. And then this is, yay, a top loader. Okay, I always prefer, come on, open up. Oh, and the buttons on the front here you can hardly see. This is the open button here, the eject button. This is the power button. I don't know if you can you can really see that. But you hold that down and it turns on. It's not plugged in right now, of course. But, and then you have this top loading thing here versus those damn doors that slide in and out that everybody seems to like so much, that malfunction early on or bend or break off or whatever. Give me a top loader any day of the week. I don't, you know, I'm a function over form guy. It doesn't have to look that great as long as it performs forever and ever, and I can knock it around a little bit. You know, this machine is durable. It's more durable than the original PS2. And then, of course, on the top, this is the way the top, looks. It's like a thin book almost. But let's look in the back here, and we go across the back, and the first thing we come to here is your Ethernet. Your internet connection here. You can plug it in. No Wi-Fi on this machine. A digital optical out, which I don't think it's used for anything ever. You have your AV out here, which is for your television, and your your power, your DC power, and then here's some more cooling up here. On the back of the old PS2, the original design, there was a big slot there for the hard drive, because hard drive was something that Sony wanted to offer, but they wanted to offer it separately to keep the cost down of their machine because they knew not everybody was going to use it. And they did have a hard drive for the old PS2s for a while, but as you see, when they designed the new PS2, they didn't put it in there anywhere because they didn't really need it. There was really no need for hard drive for this kind of machine. And in that generation, and during this generation, I've done. Let's see, I did an episode on the GameCube. I did an episode on the Xbox. Now I'm doing this to finish the big 3. The trilogy of this generation. But from this generation, 2 things really weren't all that important yet, and that was a hard drive and online. An online scheme of some sort. This has, of course, I showed you the Ethernet. But what I'm talking about is online gaming had not become a big thing yet. Even though the Xbox was doing all that they were doing, it really didn't catch on big time and make a big splash until this generation that we have now, the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, that's on the outs. They're going out, they're on their way out, and we're making way for the PS4 and the Xbox One. But those 2 things really hadn't caught on yet. There was really no reason yet for a hard drive or a robust online scheme. So these machines, while forward-leaning, were still kind of the last of the what I call traditional video game consoles. They were the last of them, and that's this one here, the Sony PlayStation 2. Let's take a look at the controller. The controller is the same thing that you had with the PlayStation 1. You have your rocker switches here, directional, pad. You had your sticks, select, start, analog switch that allows you to switch back and forth, analog or not. Your triangle, your circle, your X, and your square. 2 sets of bumper buttons on the outside here. Okay, and of course it has that Sony grip. You can actually get a grip on this real nicely, real ergonomic, real smooth. The only thing I like about these sticks is that they're rounded, they're rounded outwards. I like them when they have a dip on the top. You can get your thumb in there real good. With this, your thumb can slide off of there. I prefer the Microsoft approach with the dips in the sticks, so you can get your thumb in there. Something else I want to mention about this machine that set it apart from earlier machines, up to and including the Dreamcast, was, and actually the GameCube and the Xbox also, this could play DVDs right out of the box. You just take it out of the box, you plug it into your TV, and this goes, when I say this machine, I mean the PS2 in general, and you could just play DVDs right through it. Or such as it is, they had some kind of lawsuit about discs not playing in it, and a lot of it had to do with the DVDs. And it's because, I think it's because people were standing it up on end. And the reader, of course, over time, with gravity, gets pulled to one side, and voila, doesn't work anymore. But I've never felt compelled to turn a PS2 on its side. I think it looks ridiculous like that. Now, I'm going to point out that the Sony PS2 also could do a progressive scan. It could do a 480 progressive, and there was component cables for it that gave it that, a little bit more high-resolution look. So we're going to boot this up and look at this here. You're going to probably see the top of my head while I'm doing this. And this is very familiar to everyone, I'm sure. Now you have, it says browser and system configuration. The browser doesn't necessarily mean internet browser. It's a browser for the machine. I don't have this connected to the internet anymore. I can reconnect it. It's not that hard. The router's right here, and I have like about 1 million Ethernet cables lying around up here. But it's more important, I think. I think it's more important here to just kind of look at the machine itself. So let's look at the browser. And you go into the browser, and there's a memory card section there. I got 2 memory cards in here, and you can go into the memory card and look at the crapulence that you have on the memory card. What do I have here? Ridge Racer 5, system configuration, and that's the Red Faction. That's pretty much that for this memory card. On this memory card here, of course, I have a little bit more crapulence. I got my Xenosaga, my Psychonauts, Virtua Fighter 4, but again, not too heavy on the junk here. I have other memory cards, probably about 2 or 3 more lying around that are full, and that's that for that. And of course, then you go into it goes back to this, and you go into system configuration, and you can adjust the clock and all that kind of crap, and the date and the time and the poop, but we're not going to do that. We don't really have any interest in sitting here and doing that kind of crap. And this tells you the version. This is console SCP-879-001. It's got the PlayStation driver 2.0, CD player 2.0, browser 1.4, DVD player 3.11 EU, and there's a MAC address there for your network. Hip hip hooray. So let's take a look at some games. Okay, how about a little Kinetica for you? Or Kinetica? I don't know. I think it's Kinetica. But it's little dudes that turn into motorcycles. They wear their motorcycles and they turn into the motorcycles and they race like motorcycles. And this game is awesome. It's just so bizarre. This is awesome. Awesome. Oh, here we go. Here we have a little bit of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Grand Theft Auto, of course, not being one of my big favorites, but oh, that hurt.
I'm having that.
Oh God, not Freebird! No! I don't want this car. I don't want to listen to Freebird.
Oh,
Here, I'll take
at least it was before I fucked everything up.
You holding up Grove Street business. Ow!
Take this guy's ride.
I want to do one.
Oh my God, he's listening to Freebird also? Anyway, you get the idea. It's Grand Theft Auto. Ooh, San Andreas. And here's a little Red Faction 2 for you. Back when this was a first-person shooter.
Chancellor Support wants, Chancellor Support gets.
Whoops. Sorry.
Track to base insertion is complete and Charlie Delta 09er. Don't have a clear firing lane. You must take out those towers. No, please run.
How to get anywhere here?
Coast clear. I'm inbound. ETA 30 seconds. Clear the enemy troops for me.
Okay, that's Red Faction 2. At the end of the day, you probably already have one of these things. This is a GameStop third-party controller that I'm using with this right now. But, you know, it's brand new and everything snaps on it nicely. But anyhow, of course I'm going to recommend this machine to anyone, any gamer, anywhere. It has the largest library of games in the universe. It's common if you find one. They're cheap. They had them at GameStop until just, you know, a few months ago, maybe over the past year or so they phased them out. But you can still find these at used game stores, and you can find them online out the wazoo. They're common. They're going to be cheap. You could probably get them bundled with a bunch of games. The games are common. The games are cheap. You could probably just walk into your closet or up to your attic and just get your PS2 and plug it back in. What did you unplug it for? Jeez. You know, okay, the graphics aren't cutting edge anymore, but so? That doesn't mean anything. And there you have it. It's the PlayStation 2 from Sony. And this, of course, is the PlayStation 2 Slim.